All righty. I think we are officially live here on this Monday morning. And here in South Carolina, it is a very, very rainy, nasty day today. And I think it's going to continue. I don't think it's going to be a good weather day, but that's okay. Because today I'm going to be actually spending most of my time right here shooting some upcoming videos for an upcoming training, which I'm calling the keyword Goldmine. And that's going to be happening this Wednesday. So yeah, that's what I'll be working on today for most of the day. I've already blocked out a good amount of time so we can go ahead and do that. So one thing I will say before we do get rocking and rolling here today, because this is our Monday mindset, what I did want to say is if you have not yet signed up, and I'm finding my link here, if you have not yet signed up for our pre-launch of our keyword Goldmine, you can go right here. You can go to brandcreators.com/gold. And there you'll be able to enroll in our micro training. And the reason why I'm calling it micro is it's going to be around 3 to 4 videos, and they'll probably range in length. But I'm going to be teaching 3 specific strategies that we've been using, and they're working very, very well. And they're ones that I'm going to be using moving forward quite a bit because now, like, the numbers are in, it's working. So I'm going to continue to do that. And I wanted to teach it now and kind of break it down. So this way here, there's a step-by-step process that you guys can follow. So if you're at all interested in whether you're new and you want to start from scratch and you want to start finding some of these low competition keywords, this is definitely for you. If you're currently building your, your niche property, then it's definitely for you because you'll probably be able to take one of these strategies, at least, probably more, but at least one, and use it immediately. Like I said, I've tested it on, we've tested it on 4 sites now, and it's working very, very well. So there's the link for you. If you're at all interested, if you have not yet registered or enrolled. And what this is going to be, just to kind of throw it out there, what this is going to be is we are going to be sending out videos that we're going to pre-record. So it's not a live training, but I'm going to be basically just firing up my laptop and teaching one strategy at a time. And that will be the video session. We're also going to have these turned into a workbook style as well. So we'll be working on that to make sure that that comes along with it. And here's the crazy thing. The investment is kind of crazy in itself. And we're doing it for a reason. And the big reason is I want to get a group through this, and I want to start creating content, or them to start taking these keywords and creating content around these, and give it a little bit of time. But this way here, we can track the results. And then what we can do is I can share them when we go public with this, which we're going to do. Because one of the main reasons doing this is we want to help people that are in, the building stages, and they're trying to get traffic, but they're struggling. And we want to help them get traffic by following some of these strategies. And then hopefully, maybe they'll want to join us inside of Brand Creators Academy. I mean, that's the whole reason why, or one of the reasons why we want to do this, is to help people outside of our initial community here, our community, and then from there bring those people in if they're interested, and just help people in general with this part of this process. So there you go. All right. There's the big secret. All right. Just to help more people and hopefully open up who we're reaching. All right. So that's why it's priced so low. And if you're interested in the pre-launch, go there now, brandcreators.com/gold. All right. So with that all being said, are we good? It looks like we are. Scooby Light says, I've been wishing for a yucky weather day too. Yeah. Sometimes it's funny when you have a yucky day weather, it's kind of like, what do I do? I can't do anything outside. I guess I'll just stay inside and I'll do a little bit of work. And for us, work is a lot of times like keyword research, which for me, I enjoy. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. I'll get a nice cup of coffee and we'll dig in and we'll do a little keyword research. And that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon. So I'll be shooting that video. So Salma, good morning. Good to see you. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to kick off our Monday mindset. And let me go ahead and remove that banner. There we go. And today is our Monday mindset. So we're going to keep this short and sweet because, again, I've got some work to do. But our topic today, or our discussion, I should say, is going to be focus on creating assets, and that can be a crazy game changer. Crazy. If you focus on creating assets. All right. And I'm going to dig into this a little bit. I've got some notes here, but there's really three areas of creating assets in your life, in your business, just in general. All right. And that's what I want you to take away from today is like, I want you to think about this. Are you creating assets? And that's something that we're going to be talking about here. All right. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get rocking and rolling here, and then we'll get on with our day. So let me go ahead and take a quick pause, and then we'll kick this thing off officially. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Monday Mindset. And today we are going to be talking about assets. Yes, assets. And we're going to talk about three different areas of creating and focusing on assets that can be a complete game changer. And this goes for everything in life. And I was actually just having a conversation with my wife's cousin's daughter. And we were just talking in general, just about life, but also about why it's so important to create something that can continually benefit you. All right. Continually benefit you. Because a lot of times what we're thinking in the beginning is, how do I go out there and what we're talking about a lot of times is business. Like, how do I go out there and how do I create a service for someone, or how do I help someone with one problem? And that's great, right? Like a lot of businesses out there, that's what they do, right? If you have a pest control business, they come in once a month and they treat for, pests in your house. It could be a pool company. They come out and they service your pool. You're kind of coming up with like things that people can do on a regular basis. It's one-to-one a lot of times, which is great. But I like to look at how do we create something that can keep on giving? And for all of you that have been listening for any period of time, I talk about evergreen assets. All right. Evergreen meaning that they don't go stale. They don't lose, they're not on a trend. You're not going to create something and then it's going to peter out in a sense. We want to work on things that are going to continue to give us something over time. And I don't mean just money, okay, which a lot of times this will do that, but it's like, what do we put the time and effort into that will create an asset, something that we can use forever, really, for that, or for as long as we want. All right. And we all kind of know what liabilities are and assets, right? Any good investor will say we want less liabilities and more assets. Like that's what we want to focus on. So that is true. Like if you think about it, it's like if all you do is focus on like getting liabilities in your life, which are things that are a lot of times in the investment world is like debt, right? We want to do less of that and do more of things that we're putting time and effort into that will continually give, right? Continually grow, continually give without us necessarily having to give, all right? Or to put the time and effort into. So I want to break this down. That's really what we're talking about here today, though, is assets. How do we create assets in our life and in our business? All right. So we've just explained what assets are. Let's talk about certain types of assets. So the one that I love to talk about, this is a big one. And the reason why we're, again, sharing this on a Monday Mindset, if you're listening to this on a Monday, is I want you to think about this throughout the week. And hopefully you'll continually think about that. But I really want you to focus on what I'm about to share. Okay. Because when you're sitting down and you have this certain amount of time, what do I focus on today? Think about, are you focusing on something that is going to help you either create an asset or that is an asset? All right. So the very first one is skill sets. All right. If you are working on something right now, if you're learning something, and not just learning, if you're doing, because a lot of people think that learning is creating a skill set. No, learning is learning how to do something. And then once you learn how to do the thing, now you've created a skill set. Now you've created an asset. So there's more to it than just like, we're going to learn how to find good keywords. Great. But that doesn't really become the asset until you've created something that now is giving, right? So I've created the skill set. That is one type of asset. But if I just learn about it, but I don't actually do it, then I haven't actually created the skill set. Hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a little confusing. So let me give you an example of some of the skill sets that I've developed and created that I still have to this day, and they'll be with me forever. Okay. First one is construction. right? So I was a contractor. A lot of you that know my story or maybe have read my book, The Take Action Effect, which if you haven't, you can go grab a copy over at takeactioneffect.com, or you can go to Amazon or wherever you buy your books and you can go search for Take Action Effect. I would recommend Audible because there's an Audible version there. Go check that out and you'll hear me reading the book all the way through it and telling you some extra stories in there that didn't make the book. But construction, that was a big part of my life. And when I first started, and I tell the story in the book, I didn't even know how to read a tape measure really. Like I knew, but I didn't really know. I haven't used it all that much, like yardstick maybe, but not like really measuring things on a regular basis. So I was really, really green when it came to that stuff. And so you go from there to where I was able to build my own house and help other people build their houses and do a lot of the construction in a house and all of those different things, become a GC, a general contractor, all of those things from someone that didn't know anything right out of high school to where I learned a trade and I learned a skill set. And to this day, I still use those things, right? I still use that skill set, right? I can go and replace my faucet without having to go to YouTube. Right? I can go and put a toilet in, which I did just the other day. I literally put a toilet in the other day and it took me about a half hour, right? Pulled the thing out, got the wax ring off, cleaned everything up, made sure all the plumbing was good. Then I went ahead and got the new toilet, put the new wax ring on, set the toilet, seated it all down, got my bolts all tightened up, hooked up the water, and then turned it on. Everything looked good. No leaks. We're good to go, right? So I didn't have to hire anybody for that. Could I have? Yeah, sure I have. But I've got that skill set. I've done it before. So my point is, it took me some years to learn all those different things. I didn't learn it overnight, but I learned them and I still have them to this day. If I wanted to go out and build a deck on my back patio, I could, right? If I wanted to put a door in, and I was thinking about doing this, if I wanted to take on the side of my house where my pool is, there's a brick wall. I'm thinking about putting a sliding patio door that goes out from my bedroom to the pool because I just want to go out to the pool and I want to see the pool. That's a job I could do. I've done it before. I know how to do it. So there's a lot of this stuff that we are building a skill set and it takes time to do this. But once we have it, we have it. And no one can take that away. So that's another example, or that's an example there. So the other one is Photoshop. I learned Photoshop when I got into the photography business. I still use Photoshop to this day at times. And I've got that skill set, right? I actually created a membership around Photoshop and I built that into a six-figure business. So that was a skill set that allowed me to do that and helped me do that. Content creation. I've been creating content online now for probably over 12 years now, probably longer. And now I know how it works. Now there's different types of content. There's YouTube, there's podcasting, there's blogs, there's all of that stuff, right? Right now I'm focusing a lot on blog stuff, but I'm still building email lists, which I learned that skill set years ago, but I'm still using it, right? So skill sets are huge. And I want you to think about that. But let me just say this. Learning is not necessarily the skill set that you're developing. It's part of it, but the hands-on is where you actually learn. So I'm going to be doing a keyword little training. I'm calling it the keyword Goldmine, and it's a little micro training. If you're interested in checking that out, you can head on over to brandcreators.com/gold. And what I'm doing there is I'm teaching a skill that I've learned over the years, and I'm still learning, but these are 3 different strategies that I've learned and I've tested because I learned them. And then I went and tested them in the real world and I seen, oh, they work. I'm going to keep doing these, right? So now I have this skill set of keyword research. So it's that same thing. If you went through this training, you're going to learn it. That's one side of it. So now you understand it, you learn it, you know what you need to do, but now you actually have to do it and then test it in your own world, in your own, backyard. Okay. So don't just think that learning something is actually developing the skill set. It's only half of it. Okay. We have to actually apply it and do hands-on. Okay, get our hands in there. All right. So that's skill sets. And it's a big one. Okay. It's a big one. So think about that this week. All right. Are you working on creating a skill set? The other thing I'd like you to do, and this would be a fun exercise, is get a notebook or a piece of paper and write down what are all the things that you have skill sets in. What are all the things that you learned over the years you've done? And if someone said to you, hey, can you help me with this because you've got that skill set? What are those? I'd like you to list those out because there's probably a good amount that you don't even know that you have. You just develop them and they're yours, but you've never really acknowledged them. So let's acknowledge them. Let's give yourself a little credit and also see how much you really do know. All right. So skill sets, that's a big one. Let's move on to the second one that I want to talk about, and that is physical things. Okay. Physical things can be a house. So if you have a house, even though you have debt on the house, you still are building that asset over time because it's building equity. Okay. Now, we're, the current time that we're living in, equity is kind of crazy right now. Like we had a huge spike after COVID, like big spike because interest rates went down. People wanted to buy houses. The supply and demand, went up. And so now we have, these prices that have doubled in some cases where someone's house went from $250,000 to $500,000. And they got $250,000 of equity in their house, which is an asset because now they can leverage that. So that's an asset. Okay. The other, another asset for a physical thing would be like a rental property. Of course, same thing, same idea, but now you're getting some revenue stream from that, or you're getting a revenue stream from that. A business in general is an asset, right? You have something that you're supplying a service to, and then from there, you're getting revenue in, you're getting cash flow, and that becomes an asset because it's worth something now. All right. A website is an asset in different ways, but one way is it's a vehicle to turn someone that is a prospect into a customer, right? So it's an asset that does a conversion, or it gets traffic over to your business, or it gets traffic over to your content, which you get paid on from MediaMine or AdThrive or any of these other ones. So a website is a physical thing in a sense. Yes, it's digital, it's online, but it's really something that it's tangible in a sense that you could take that thing and sell it and someone could buy it and pull it in. So it's an asset. So I like to look at these types of assets, like physical things, as what is something that is going to keep on giving, right? What's an asset that if you put time, energy, money into, that could keep on giving? One thing that a lot of people don't look at as an asset is a content piece. If you have a piece of content, all right, now the content comes from a keyword that you've done research on, right? So you've done keyword research. It's search intent. That's a big one there for you. Remember that word right there, or that term, search intent. Search intent. And the reason why I'm saying that, I went over this again this past weekend with my wife's cousin's daughter, and I just really stressed that. I'm like, listen, search intent. That's all that we care about. The reason why I'm saying this is because once we get a piece of content that has search intent, people are going to be searching for that piece of content if you've done the keyword research right. We don't want to go after trends. We don't want to go after things that are going to go out of, search intent. We don't want to have something that, well, people are looking for today, but they're not going to look for in a year from now. I don't want to go out and ride those trends necessarily. So you want content that keeps on giving. That is an asset, even though it's not bringing you money. Just like, a skill set isn't technically bringing you money all the time, although it could. You want to think about this. Is this thing that I'm working on, is this thing that I am putting into place, is it an asset? Okay. So the physical things, like I said, house, rental, business, website, content, and there's more, but those are just ones that come to the top of my mind. All right. Now, this last one is really, really important. And a lot of people wouldn't look at this as an asset. And that is relationships. Relationships. That's huge. So think about that. And I want you to think about that. Your network of people. People always say, like, or you've probably heard this, your net worth is equal to your net work, right? Your network allows you to reach, people, or to be able to have a connection made. I can't tell you how many people have either listened to the podcast, met someone at one of my meetups, or came to one of my events or something, and they had like a relationship built that they either had a resource that they handed off that turned into a 6-figure, a 7-figure, business. Actually, I had 2 guys that were part of just a meetup it was at the time, and they collaborated and they built a nice little business. So network is really, really powerful, but it's the relationships, right? A relationship in life, right? If you have someone that you lean on and they lean on you, that's an asset, because when you need that, you got it. And that might be that one little thing might have been what you needed in order to push through your self-doubts or to maybe make you keep pushing because you were going to give up. Or maybe it's just, hey, I just need your feedback on this thing. I'm not sure which one I should do, this one or this one. And then they give you that feedback because you've built a relationship that you trust them. And maybe they've got knowledge, maybe they've got a skill set that you don't have. And now you can lean on them for that skill set. So much of this stuff also is, interchangeable, but also can build on each other. So that's why I wanted to share this with you today, because when you're thinking to yourself, when you're sitting down, I want you to think, is this something that I am working on that is knowledge, like learning, to help me create another asset in my life and in my business? Right? So you need to ask yourself. Now, like I said, I've got this training that I'm going to be doing. Now, if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's probably already been created and you can get access to it. I can't say what the price will be at that time, but currently right now I'm offering at a ridiculously low investment. But what I'm doing here is I am teaching a skill set. All right. So I'm going to teach, but then I'm going to instruct what to do yourself. And then it's up to you, obviously, to apply that. And then once you do that, it makes it all kind of pull together. It makes it all happen to where now it creates that asset. So if we do keyword research together, and then you go through that strategy, you find 5 different keywords, and out of those 5, one of those keywords you write a piece of content on, and that piece of content gets you 1,000 visitors per month, I'd say that's a pretty good asset, because now you've learned a skill and you've created an asset that's giving you 1,000 visitors per month. That's an asset. That's actually a double whammy of an asset, because you've built a skill set teaching you how to find that keyword, get the content created, and then you've got an asset that's bringing you in 1,000 visitors per month. Okay, so we need to think about that. And again, that's whenever I'm looking at learning and education, I want it to be something that is going to be turning into a skill set, which also can turn into an asset. All right. So guys, that is your Monday mindset. I went a little bit longer there today, but I got a little fired up, and there's 3 different areas I wanted to cover. Okay. I could have just covered one, but I wanted to cover 3, and they are skill sets, physical things, and relationships. And that's what I want you to think about this week as you plan out your week, or as you plan out what you're going to be working on. Think to yourself, is this going to be an asset that I'm going to be able to use over and over and over again? So ask yourself that question, and just create some assets in your life and in your business. I'm telling you right now, it's a game changer. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, remember, I'm here for you. I believe in you, and I am rooting for you, but you have to come on, say it with me, say it loud, say it proud, take action. Now get on out there, make it happen. Cut. Guys, that just came. I forgot I used to do that at the end of the podcast. It came there this morning. All right, cool. So I think that's it, guys. I think we are good. French foots to pool will make your everyday living home into a spa home. Add light block shades too. Yeah, it's a good idea. Okay, cool. So yeah, we are going to get rocking and rolling, or we're going to get out of here. We already got rocking and roll. We're going to get out of here. I've got some work to do, because I got to get rocking and rolling on creating this training, which is going to be about 3 sessions. We're also going to be doing a bonus Wednesday. This Wednesday, I'm going to be doing a bonus keyword Goldmine Q&A session, where I'm going to be answering some questions. Now, the first video, at least one of the video sessions, will be released this Wednesday. But possibly there will be the second one as well. But right now, I'm only committing to getting the first one done by this Wednesday. And then after that, everything will be done by this Friday, no matter what. Because I'm putting myself on a little bit of a deadline as well. I want to get these 3 videos shot. If you're interested in grabbing or getting access to this, head on over to brandcreators.com/gold, and you will get access to the pre-launch special that we're doing for this right now. And you'll get access to that bonus call. And I've got a couple cool other things I'm going to be probably giving out as I go through some of the assets that I've created over the years that are related to keyword research. And I'm going to probably throw a few goodies in there, kind of like a surprise goodie bag. All right. So guys, that's it. That's going to wrap it up. As always, like I said, have an awesome, amazing day, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.